Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to your tarot reading for March into April with me, Cesmina, here on Cesmina Tarot. So, if you're new here, here's how the reading works. We'll get into things like love and money later on in the reading, but first, we're going to take a look at your current energy. So, what you're up to right now, and how that's changing in March and April. This reading is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. As always, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's get into your reading. So, what's going on at the moment? Aquarius, this is your current energy card. You have the 10 of Wands. All right, so it's a lot right now, Aquarius. You're carrying a lot on your shoulders right now. So a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things that are on you, things that you have to do. I don't think this has just happened. It doesn't feel sudden to me. This feels like very gradual. So I think a while ago you were doing pretty good, and you thought that you could handle a bit more in your life. So I think you said yes to some things because you knew you could spare time or you could spare the energy. And then after that, you still felt okay. And so maybe you felt a little challenged, but still okay. And then you took on more things and so on. And now you're here, you're feeling overwhelmed, feeling all of this pressure to do what you said you would, to do what you think people expect of you. And it feels to me like even when you aren't doing all these things, you're still thinking about them. So you never actually get a break because these things are still on your mind. So you can't really relax right now, or you don't feel like you can. You feel like you have to keep showing up and keep doing all these things that you said you would, or that you think people expect you to do. So, Aquarius, the message that comes from this card is that you can't carry all of this alone, okay? You need to put these wands, you need to put these things down. Let's get your next card. Yeah, I know you think you should, but you need to drop something because you're not going to be able to keep this up forever, okay? Let's see what's happening in March now. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so Aquarius, I don't think you actually feel like you can take a break, or you don't feel like you can say no. Or maybe you don't feel like you can say that you're feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you feel like you've just got to work a little harder and push through. So I think instead of saying something, you're waiting for things to change on their own. I think you would prefer that, so that you don't feel like you're letting anyone down or like you can't handle all of this. Aquarius, this is too much for one person. That's why you can't handle it. It's not because you're not capable. It's not because you're not working hard enough. It's because this is too much. I think all of these things, all of these responsibilities came into your life so quietly that you didn't really even notice it all piling up. You didn't notice it getting heavy. But I think all of this responsibility has made you a bit hypervigilant. You're more aware, I think, and more observant, more anxious, because you've got so much on your plate. But because of that, you're very aware of loads of little signs. You're very aware of everything right now. And you're going to be very aware of these in March. I think you're very aware particularly of these responsibilities. And I think you're going to notice other people wanting to take these responsibilities off your shoulders. I think you might fight this at first because you think you should be capable, or maybe you're even worried that they're trying to steal your thunder. Maybe you also have a fear of not being needed. I just heard that, but Aquarius, it's not that. It's that you are needed and the people around you are noticing how overwhelmed you are. And they don't want you to break under this pressure because they don't know what they would do without you. So Aquarius, in March, I think you need to let go of the control here and let this change happen. You know, let some of this responsibility go. Let's go to your next card now. Yeah, it's okay not to be able to do it all yourself, Aquarius. Like I said, this is a lot for one person. This is too much for one person, I think. Let's see about April now. You have the Fool. Oh, okay. Aquarius, you need to drop something because you have something new coming into your life and you need the room. That's why you need to drop something. You need that time and that energy, which you're not going to have with all of that responsibility on your shoulders. So definitely don't fight that change in March, Aquarius. Give away some of the responsibility, even if you find that difficult, even if you don't want to, because you've got something new coming in here. Because I really do think that you might struggle with control. I do think you will struggle with allowing someone else to take on something that you do, or maybe something that you have on your shoulders is going to come to an end. And I think at first you won't like it. I think you like to be busy. You like to be on the move. You don't like to have much free time. But if you allow something to end, if you allow these responsibilities to go to someone else, if you relax just a little bit here, you'll realize that it's not that you aren't doing enough and that you need to do more. That's not what this is. It's that now you've got free time that you can fill with something new and exciting, something that's maybe just for you and not for anyone else. Okay, I think that's it for your first three. Let's go to your next cards now. So we're going into the love section of the reading now. The next three cards look at different areas of your love life: new love, existing love, and also no contact situations. So just pick whichever one of those applies to you. We're going to start with new love. So this card looks at new connections, new people, and the potential for love in March and April. You have the Four of Cups. Okay, so Aquarius, you've been a little bored with your options, right? You're like, nah, maybe they've been nice, maybe they've been good looking, maybe they've been successful, but there's just no chemistry there. No one's really caught your attention. And I'm getting you thinking, like, what's wrong with me? These people have been really nice, they've been respectful, they've been funny, but nothing. You know, you're there with these people, you're sitting at the table with them, but you're not really there. You're not really present because you're bored. I was trying to think of a less harsh word, but that's where you're at with love. You're bored. But Aquarius, don't get disheartened. I feel like this has been going on for quite a while. So don't give up on love. Don't think, oh, well, maybe it's not for me. Because there is a chance for love in March and April for you, but you'll need to be looking for it, okay? Because right now, There's nothing wrong with you, I promise. You're just looking in the wrong places. You need to try a different approach, maybe a different dating app, or maybe someone who is a little off brand for you, someone that you wouldn't normally go for. You need to try something a little bit different. That's where I see love coming in for you in March and April. Let's go to your next card now. Going to look at existing love. So this card looks at romantic connections that are already in your life, someone you're dating, someone you're in a relationship with, or someone where feelings already exist. And if you'd like a much deeper look into a specific connection in your life, you can also check out my you and them readings on this channel. You have the Tower. Okay, so this is a challenging card, Aquarius. I'm not going to lie to you, but go with me on this. It's good and bad. So this card does make sense to me because we saw in your earlier cards that you struggle with saying no. You struggle handling handing over responsibility. I think you struggle with people pleasing, and I feel like this is having an effect on your relationship. Specifically in March and April, I think it's actually causing an argument. But again, go with me. I think this argument is needed. I think that something has been going on in your relationship for a while that you don't like, and you haven't said anything about it because you didn't want to cause an issue or rock the boat. But Aquarius, even if you haven't realized, you've been building up resentment towards your person, and that's coming out, that's causing an argument. I think a lot will be said in this argument, but again, I think it is needed. I think this does need to come out because the way your relationship is right now, it's not working. You're not happy. It does need to change. It doesn't work the way that it is, and you two will realize this during, or more likely after, this argument, when you've both calmed down. And things will be different afterwards. Things will feel a bit weird and a bit unstable afterwards, but even though your dynamic is changing, I think you'll be so glad that this has come out, and I think you'll be surprised by your person's reaction. I do see this argument balancing your dynamic out. And again, don't be freaked out, Aquarius. This is a needed argument. This is good. I think it's healthy for your relationship. Let's go to your next card. We're going to look at no contact now. This card looks at someone you're currently not speaking to, someone where communication has stopped, or someone where things have become a bit distant. You have the Eight of Cups. Okay, so this might be what you've been carrying. This person, your no contact person, all of the history may be making everything else in your life feel that much heavier. It could definitely be the responsibility that you're letting go of, or walking away from. So Aquarius, I don't know why, but I want to tell you that this person, your no contact person, isn't your responsibility. I don't know where that came from, but anyway, in March and April, I do see you walking away, or at least trying to emotionally detach from your no contact person, because honestly, you've done all that you can, you've invested all that you can, and now you're feeling like you need to put yourself first. And I feel like it's taken a long time. I feel like you have tried again and again and again with this person. Um, I'm definitely getting that you feel responsible for this person. You're feeling more to me like a parent towards this person than you are a lover. I think you may have felt that way when you were with them as well. But yeah, you're going to be detaching. And I'm not going to lie to you, Aquarius, this will be hard. It will be hard for you. You'll look back every now and then and wonder if you made the right choice here. But I think there is a mindset change that needs to happen here. Instead of worrying about whether you've made the right choice for them, you need to ask yourself if you've made the right choice for you. Start putting yourself first here, because this person isn't your responsibility. Yeah, it's definitely time to let go here, Aquarius. It's time to put yourself first and make space in your life for something or someone new. Okay? Bit of a hard message, but let's keep going. Let's get your next set of cards now. So we are moving into the home and work section of the reading now. The next 4 cards look at different areas of your life: family, friends, work, and then money. We're going to start with family. This card looks at your family relationships and what's going on in your family in March and April. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I was waiting for this card. So Aquarius, you're the one that everyone depends on. You're like the parent in your family. Even if you're not, even if you're the baby in the family, you're the one that everyone goes to when something goes wrong, when they need help. You're the one that has everything together. You're the one who is calm in a crisis, and you're the one who's got all of the responsibility on your shoulders. Maybe this is why you take on so much responsibility, because this is what you learn when you were growing up. Maybe you had to be strong for your family at some point and you sort of got into the habit of that. Maybe this was just something that was expected from your family. Maybe this is just a standard that your family have. But I do feel like you always put others first. You're always making sure everyone else is okay, and you're always putting yourself last. I think this is another card that's telling you you have taken on too much, Aquarius. I do think, though, there's this feeling of like, no, it's okay. I can do it. I have to do it. I have to keep everything together. I have to keep everything under control. But remember, in your earlier cards, some of those responsibilities are being taken off your shoulders in March and April. And with that Wheel of Fortune, I think that decision is going to be made for you, because you can't, or feel like you can't, make that decision yourself. I do think your family are going to be taking some of these responsibilities off your shoulders, even if you protest. I think you will protest, Aquarius, because I just keep hearing, I don't want to let anyone down. I can do it. I'm capable. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not burnt out. I'm just a little bit tired. But Aquarius, you can still care, you can still look after everyone without doing everything for everyone. In fact, if you aren't overwhelmed or burnt out with responsibilities, you'll actually find it easier to help, because you won't be burnt out and you'll be happier to help too. I think you'll be happier in general. Helping others won't feel like a chore to you anymore. There won't be any resentment building up under the surface. I do think that if you keep trying to carry everything, you'll find yourself getting irritated with people, especially your family, and snapping at people you really don't want to snap at. So you need to give some of those responsibilities to your family. I don't actually think your family are going to give you a choice. I think they're going to be taking these responsibilities off your shoulders because they know that you won't give them up yourself. Let's keep going and get your next card. We're going to look at friends now. This card looks at your friendships, new and old, and what's happening within your social circle in March and April. You have the Chariot. Okay, so I feel like you have recently made some new friends, or you will be in March and April, Aquarius. This could also be, if it isn't new people, this could be you putting more time and effort into your friendships after a time of being too busy for them or just too tired. It could definitely be tired with all those responsibilities. But that could be what you're making room for. It could also be that you're giving up some friendships and putting more effort into the right ones. This could be you getting rid of toxic connections. I actually said in your no contact card that you feel like other people and what they do, how they feel is your responsibility. It's not, Aquarius. I'm feeling the need to tell you that again. It's like you're the one who looks after everyone all the time, even if they don't give it back. And I feel like that's like more on your shoulders than you already have. And so in March and April, you're having to take your energy back. I don't think it's because you want to. I do actually think that's going to be very difficult for you to choose yourself, but you are going to have to take your energy back. And you're going to be choosing which friendships to put your energy into, because you need the sort of friendships that are going to give back to you. And I think when you're looking to see which friends give back to you and which don't, um, you may find that there are only a few who do give back to you, you know. So you might actually be putting that extra time and effort once you've detached from these toxic connections into new connections, making some new friends and finding those friendships that will give back to you. Okay, let's get your next card now. We're going to look at your work now. This card looks at your job, your work environment, and what's going on in your working life in March and April. You have the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, okay. This is why you need some extra time and some extra energy, Aquarius. So you may have a new opportunity coming up in your work life. And this is something that could open up a lot of doors for you. But whatever this is, it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and it's going to be, again, a lot of responsibility. So you're going to have to get some stuff off your shoulders so that you can take advantage of this new opportunity, so that you don't miss this. So Aquarius, this is an opportunity that's going to be for you, not for anyone else, for you. This is why you need to put yourself first, because if you don't, you're going to miss out. Okay, you're going to have to drop a responsibility, maybe even a couple, and trust someone else to do those for you. Or maybe put them on the back burner for the time being. Trust me, you'll be glad that you did, because this opportunity coming in could be really good for you, and it may even bring you in more money, which, if you think about it, is going to be helpful, right? With a lot of responsibilities, maybe you could pay someone or maybe pay for a service that could take some of those off your shoulders permanently. So this opportunity could also have long-term benefits for you too. Yeah, a pretty straightforward message here. You've got something really good coming in here, Aquarius. Let's see how this is affecting your money. That might give us some more information. So this card looks at your financial situation in March and April, income, spending, overall stability. You have the Three of Wands. Yep, this new opportunity could definitely bring in some more money for you, because I think with this new opportunity, you're going to have a figure put in front of you, a figure of money, okay? Whether that's from, it could not, maybe it's not from your work, maybe this is from whatever you're putting your time and energy into. Maybe you're starting a side hustle, but you're looking at this figure and thinking, oh, wow, you know, what I could do with this money. I could pay someone to get this off my plate. I could pay for a service or a subscription that does one of my things for me. I could afford things that could make my life so much easier. It could also be the Okay, so it could also be that giving up a responsibility would actually save you some money, Aquarius. Maybe you've never thought about it like that. Think about all of those things that you do for others, those things that you feel like you have to do. Is there one in there that costs you more money? Could you actually save if you gave that responsibility up, or if you gave that to someone else? You know, when you think about it like that, is there actually a lot of money there that you could use right now? I think that's something that you should consider thinking about, or maybe even write down your expenses and just see if that's something that applies to you, Aquarius. A very specific message. Let's go to your next card now. So this is your advice card. This card shows what you should keep in mind as you move through March and April. You have Temperance. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. Aquarius, some things just aren't your responsibility. Not everything is up to you. I've already said this a couple of times throughout your reading, but I feel like this is something that you really need to hear. I'm getting again that all of this stuff on your shoulders, it didn't all appear at once, okay? It was gradual, one thing at a time. And yes, at the time you thought you could handle it. Yes, at the time you said that you would be okay with it. I do think you're still thinking of these things as, just one thing here and there instead of a whole. If you think about it, Aquarius, if you wrote all of those things down, is it a really long list now? You don't have to do it all. And again, it's really not that you're not capable. It's just that this is too much for one person, and that you need to give up one or more of these things, maybe phase it out or give it to someone else. And Aquarius, don't feel bad about asking others to do it either. I can see here in your cards that you do so much for everyone else, that you deserve that energy back. So your advice here is to really learn how to find balance in your life again, to start saying no, so that you're not silently carrying resentment towards people that you really do love, who won't realize how much they're leaning on you, who don't realize that you're feeling overwhelmed or burnt out. I think you're learning how to have boundaries again, and to put aside some time for you to recharge and relax. And I think you're really going to notice a difference when you start putting yourself first in your mood, in just your overall well-being. I think you really need to start putting yourself first, Aquarius. Let's get your last card now. We're going to take a quick look ahead. This is just a quick sneak peek at the energy moving into next month, which would be May. You have the Seven of Wands. All right, so this makes sense to me. Aquarius, you're learning how to say no, okay? You're just starting to learn that, I think. This is like a habit that you'll need some time to break. But yeah, you're starting something new just for you. Maybe something at your work that will bring in some more money for you, something that you're going to have to dedicate a lot of time and a lot of energy to. So what's going to happen is where you're taking some responsibility off your shoulders. This thing that's just for you, it's going to take up some of that space that you cleared for it. Not all of it. You aren't going to be feeling burnt out or overwhelmed again, but it's going to be taking up some of it. And I want you to think of that as like a meter filling up. All right. So technically, you could spare some time and energy. You aren't burnt out yet. More responsibility would get you there though. You do have a little bit of space at the top, so technically you could spare some time and energy for more responsibilities, but you know how that feels now. You know your limit now because you're at it now. You are burnt out and you are overwhelmed, and I think after March and April, after you've experienced having some time to relax and feeling a lot better for it, you're going to really see the benefit of having a little bit of me time, having some time for you. But because you are the capable one, because you're the dependable one, and because you're the one that people are always going to for help, I think you're going to be learning in May how to stand your ground here, how to say no. You're going to have to say that now because you've got something that requires a lot of your attention, and because this new opportunity is going to take so much of your time and so much of your energy. You need that little space at the top of your meter. You need that little bit of free time. So you're going to have to stand your ground here. You're going to have to say no. You're going to have to say that you can't because you're putting energy into something for you. So in May, you've got a lesson and a challenge. Okay. You're being challenged to choose yourself. Okay. All right, that's all that's coming through here, Aquarius. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope this gave you something to think about, and I hope that it helped you in some way. But for now, I will see you in my next reading. Take care.